Hey guys, I wanted to do a quick video in regards to the ad that we're running corporately this month for all of the stores. And this is the first time we've done it for all of the stores. And we're calling it our anti-inflation oil change. One of the things that worked really well for us was a couple months back when we put the what is now known as the Karen ad. The engagement on it was just through the roof. And because it was a polarizing uh, ad copy or creative rather, not the copy. It was in the copy as well, but the creative itself was what drew eyeballs to it in the first place, eliciting responses from people, driving up the engagement. This one, obviously, we're only 12 days into September, but a bit of news just came out that is super important. This kind of ties together with the video I made a little bit ago about the quiet part being said out loud finally about the dirty little secret in the quick lube industry, and the commoditization of the oil change as a service. I'm going to title this video the anti-inflation oil change we have lightning in a bottle. And obviously one of the core tenets of our franchise system is we want all of our franchisees to feel as though they are entrepreneurs. We want them to feel like they're their own business owners. We don't mandate very much at all. But when there are best practices that work and your goals align with our goals, then and car count is your driving factor, then there are actionable things that you can do to drive car count. So that being said, this month we are doing all $37 oil changes. All oil changes are $37 because it's resonating right now with the consumer in a way that I have not seen before. And so we are gaining market share at a rapid pace. And while the other brands like Valvoline and Take 5 are doubling down, and Jiffy Lube are doubling down on going to $150 oil changes, there's a lot of people that are waking up to this. The oil changes have gone viral twice now, once on TikTok, once on Twitter, from people saying, what the heck, I've never paid more than $50 for an oil change in my life. My oil change was $150. How does that happen? And it has highlighted where we're at right now with this business, because the full service repair shops are large in part not doing oil changes as a loss leader anymore. A lot of these older repair shops that aren't upgrading their equipment to be able to actually do the maintenance on cars that's necessary, they've become glorified parts changers, and they are slowly just moving themselves into a maintenance mode of, I'm going to make enough money to cover my overhead and then eventually try to sell the real estate of my business. And that's how I exit this thing. I found through Nolan, they put an article out today, or yesterday rather, and it came across my desk today about basically a panel study on what's driving the automotive maintenance world. One thing about Valvoline is, and I've talked about this in previous videos, Valvoline's perceived value is so extraordinary that they can command prices that others in our space cannot. If you ever were to ask me what is the difference between Take 5 and Valvoline, is Valvoline has perceived value. We have a commoditized service. There's no magic way to take off a drain plug. There's no magic way to take off an oil filter. The more you do it, the better you get at it. The credibility issues that our industry has comes from two things. It comes from volume, and it comes from the model itself. Mechanics make mistakes at just the same rate as any of our business, but they have the luxury of doing those mistakes behind closed doors. When people in our industry make mistakes, it's very publicly known because you have to get it right 100 times out of 100 times, because the customer drives away, and sometimes the mistakes reveal themselves later. And we're all human. No one's infallible. We're not going to sit here and pretend that we don't make mistakes. It's a matter of having the processes in place to mitigate the very few that happen. And fortunately for us, we have some of the best processes in this business, and that's why we are a nearly mistake-free business in this space. So that being said, I'm going to pull up directly from the source. This is the press release from the Market Force Information Study. And all I wanted to say, I don't need to get into the weeds on this, but all I wanted to say is the number one thing that people look for in automotive maintenance is price. And we are at a moment in time right now, and the reason I say we have lightning in a bottle is because it's never been more obvious to me that this is what's driving people's behavior. And it won't always be like this. And it eventually will even itself out, because that's the nature of our economy. It's the nature of humans in general. There's peaks and valleys. And eventually we'll be able to stabilize things, and you want to be in a position to justify your price when the time comes. There's going to be a level of people who are always only going to come on price. That is also the nature of our economy. There are people who look for value. That's why Groupon exists. That's why Angie List exists. That's why Craigslist exists. So that being said, for anyone who is still questioning how best to get cars in the door, I don't think you need to look any further than this study that was released, because all this says to me is the one variable that is within your control when we talk about the three things that cause people to pick where they get their oil change. Appearance, atmosphere are one, experience, service is two, and price is the third one. They can't experience your shop unless they get in. They can't experience your atmosphere unless they get in. The one variable that you can control is price, right? So if you take a look at the video I posted earlier about the three things that cause people to choose where they get their oil change, take a look at that video. Go into better detail on atmosphere, experience, and price. But for the moment in time right now that we should be trying to gain as much market share as possible, because some of these brands are not going to exist in the next 5 to 10 years. Some of these legacy quick lube brands are going to go away because they're just going to try to play a game that they're not going to win. They're going to try to pretend they have some kind of perceived value that they don't have. Even the service part of it is becoming commoditized, because everyone's giving away free water. Everyone is giving away, telling people how awesome they are, and trying to hire people and trying to replicate the things that we've been doing since day one. Gone are the days of assuming you can just win on a fast service. Everyone is trying to win on service so that they can charge as high of a price as possible. Thing is, at this moment in time, people are just fed up. And that's why we have lightning in a bottle, and I think everyone should be taking advantage of this moment in time. Thanks.